Okay, hi folks. Chuck here, Why Not Wander. Working with my GoPro Chesty today. Gonna be making some fudge. This way I can use two hands. Hopefully you can see better, I can work better. My family thinks this is the world's best fudge ever. Actually, it is a recipe from the back of jet puffed marshmallow cream containers. Takes one of these, 3 cups of sugar, which I already have in my pan here. My pan was a little hot. Takes a stick and a half of butter. Go ahead and get this in here, get it started melting. I read the recipe and I've already made one batch I wanted to run through before I tried to include you in all this. 5 ounces of evaporated milk. They specify do not use sweetened condensed milk. We just buy a can. 2 cans will make more than 3 batches. 3 batches is my goal for today. As soon as I find my wooden spoon, so I can start stirring this in here. High heat, get the butter melted, get the sugar to bubbling. I do use a candy thermometer. 35 degrees is what it takes. Get it all hot, stir in your marshmallow cream. Stir in your chocolate chips. Going to be making this batch is going to be milk chocolate. I already made a batch of dark chocolate, which you can see sitting here. Going to follow up my favorite, butterscotch. It's just the one I've always liked forever. My family likes them all, eats them all. We've shared with family and friends. Everybody has agreed it might be the best fudge ever. I just happened to have the day off from work. I told my wife if she would get the stuff, I'd make some fudge and we can start with it on Thanksgiving. We'll probably freeze a bunch of it and have it for Christmas. Sounds like a plan anyway. Once this butter gets melted, sugar gets good and hot. It doesn't take too long to get it up to a good boil. Like I said, 235 degrees on the candy thermometer. Then we'll add in our marshmallow cream. Get the top pulled off that so it'll be ready when the time comes. I usually also, this one to ooze out. It's ready to go. I guess it's warm enough. Don't want it in there yet. I'm just gonna loop that back on top. We'll let it sit in that warm water for a little bit. Turn the heat down so it doesn't get too hot. Lick my finger. It's one of the best parts about making fudge. You get to lick the stuff as you go. I also like to cut the top off my bag of chips I'm going to use. So when it's time to dump them, they're all ready to go. Then I'm such a klutz, I usually set that in something. We'll just set it in that measuring cup right there. That way it can't spill all over and get all over. Usually I have some dogs watching me cook. I don't see them right now. They must be convinced I'm not going to drop anything worth being interested in. It's usually a race to see who can get to whatever I drop first. What are you guys doing? Hey, here they come. Here they come. There's Cooper, there's Jasper, there's Sparky. Pretty hard to cook without them. Pretty hard to cook with them. They tend to get underfoot and get stepped on, kicked around. But usually anytime there's any chance of something hitting the floor, they're right there. Now, I have prepared my 9x9 pans. I give them just a light spray, a cooking spray, just whatever you happen to have. This is olive oil. I don't get particular about that. Just helps the fudge come out. Once it cools, we usually dump it out of the pan. Slice it up on a cutting board or cube it up into squares ready for serving. This is usually a fairly firm, yet soft, easy to eat, easy to cut fudge. This is pretty forgiving fudge, hard to mess up. I really think anybody follows the recipe, even if they're a little bit clumsy like I am, they could probably make terrific fudge that will amaze all their friends and family the same way I do. If you don't stir it constantly, then it wants to scorch and get you little brown flecks, but by the time you stir in your chocolate, nobody knows the difference anyway. And this whole fudge endeavor is usually on about a 10-15 minute thing, so it all works out. We'll go ahead and get our thermometer in there. It's probably up in the 200 range by now, the way it's bubbling. Then I just slide this over off the heat, put my stuff in. I've got my measuring spoons here for my vanilla. Vanilla's handy. My marshmallow cream, if you can see it, it's bubbling over the top just a little bit, so that'll come out easy. Got our bag of chips ready to pour in. We'll pour that in a hot pan. Like I said, this is a stainless steel pan with a thick bottom. Looks like we're about 220 right now. I don't know if you can see that thermometer in there. I turn it so I can see it from the top. Tell what I'm getting to. Just the way it's bubbling, I know we're getting close. Looks like we're 230. Just a few more degrees. Almost there. Bubbling nicely, stirring nicely. I'm slopping a little bit, but I've got a glass top stove. That doesn't hurt, but I usually try and get it up quick before it smokes or sticks or anything. Okay, there's 235. Pull the thermometer. We'll keep stirring. I'll get my chips here. They say to put the chips in slowly and stir. I've never had a problem just dumping them in. As hot as it is, they melt pretty quick. Slide that off the heat, flip the heat off, grab my marshmallow cream. With that hot spoon, it's pretty easy. I'm using a wooden spoon. They don't get hot like metal utensils do. Might be one my mother had, might be one my wife's mother had. I remember Mom used to always use wooden spoons. Old time cooks love them, new time cooks I don't. Anyway, we'll get our vanilla added here. And then it's stir, stir, stir. Teaspoon of vanilla. More or less. I probably have a little bit more. But I have enough left for later as well. So now, I'll stir that as brisk as we can to get that all melted in there. So again, I've got a pan just lightly sprayed with cooking spray. Just helps it release when you're done. I don't know how to do without it, just always done it. Usually once you're not seeing white anymore, that indicates you've got the marshmallow cream all stirred in. I don't see any white there at all. Pour it in the pan. If you do see a little white come out, just kind of mix it in. I've had that happen at times, but not this time it doesn't look like. So. All right. One more pan of fudge finished. I'm going to stick my next jar of marshmallow cream in there. I'll come over, I'll wash this pan. And once you get a little water in there, they really do wash out really well. Start with a cool pan. Put my milk in first this time. And remember, it's evaporated milk, not sweetened condensed milk. 5 ounces of it. Then I could go ahead and set my pan over on that hot burner. It's not going to matter. I'll get a stick of butter in there. If you recall, it takes a stick and a half. I think I'm going to have to go to the refrigerator. Oops. Come on, dogs. somebody come lick up this milk. They know this stuff happens. Usually they're right here waiting. Yep, Cooper to the rescue. Okay, so that's 1 stick of butter, 5 ounces of milk. Still need a little bit more butter. I bought extra at the grocery store this morning. I got it covered. Just didn't have it out yet. Wife and daughter plan on doing some bacon Wednesday, I'm sure. They'll probably use all the butter they can find too, so I usually just buy plenty. Okay, stick and a half of butter. Need 3 cups of sugar. You know, that was a 4-pound bag. Hope my wife didn't think that was going to be enough. But we usually have a whole canister full up here in the cupboard. Going for 3 cups exactly. You all see how careful those measurements must be. Why not wander with Chuck and Linda? And we might do a few cooking videos as well. We've talked about that in the past. We learn as we make them. They didn't have a school on YouTube and videos when I was a kid. Didn't have computers, didn't have cell phones. Our TV was black and white. Things have changed a lot. I like it a lot. Getting hot. Stir it so it doesn't stick. When it sizzles, when you scrape the sides, you know you're getting close. At least having all your butter melted. Doesn't take long. So right now we got 3 cups of sugar, stick and a half of butter, 3/4 of a cup or about 5 ounces of evaporated milk. Going to add to it 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 small of Kraft Jet Puff Marshmallow Cream, and 1 bag. Now the recipe calls for 3 4-ounce bags. We just got a 11-ounce bag here. Making butterscotch this time. My favorite. I'm going to try and get this on the video tonight, so if anybody needs fudge for Thanksgiving, this is the best way I know of to do it. More fun than buying it, especially if you have kids or grandkids that like to cook with you. This is a great little project for youngsters. And sometimes you can get them to do the stirring, which really is the hardest part of the whole thing. And we're starting to bubble just lightly here. Get it up to a pretty good boil. Get our thermometer in. Again, we're looking for 235 degrees. We'd like to get some more videos online. So far, people seem to like a lot of what we're doing. We enjoy watching a lot of other people and what they're doing. RVing stuff particularly. But hey, you know, everybody eats. Well, I guess we don't all cook, but somebody sometimes cooks a lot of what we eat. We like to do a lot of our own. We like to learn new stuff. Now, if this will help somebody else that's maybe never done it before, just go to the store. I think we got everything at Walmart. Stirring. Now, when you do get that thermometer in there, be sure you stir under it, or this mixture will scorch in the pan any place that doesn't get stirred pretty good, pretty regularly. So be sure you stir. Run it underneath your thermometer as well. Let it just bounce up. It'll go back down. We are just about there. 230. 230 and counting. And we're there. Okay, I'm going to pull that off the heat. I'm going to grab my chocolate, or in this case butterscotch. Just dump it all in there. pull my candy thermometer out, stick it out of the way over here, grab my measuring cup. I've been using the half teaspoon deal here just because it's the one that came in my hand first. Just do it twice, or approximately twice, maybe plus a little bit. I don't think it really matters. A lot of recipes are guidelines for experienced cooks, and I'm not going to claim to be an experienced cook. I'm just kind of a careless cook. And the recipe that's a little bit forgiving is perfect for me. I will measure approximately. Mom told me once, normal cooking, just go by sight. A dash of salt, a pinch of pepper, some water, whatever. But if it comes to baking, which I'm not baking, when you're baking, using yeast, flour, things like that, then you should always measure. So, I've never claimed to be a baker. I don't do baking. My wife's the baker of the family. It doesn't cool off that quick. Stays fluid enough to stir for plenty long to get it all well mixed. Again, we're waiting till all the white gets mixed in. Okay, I don't see, there was a speck of white. I think we got her. Pull the pan back over, dump it in there. Sugar butter, chocolate or butterscotch chips, marshmallow cream, condensed milk, a little bit of vanilla. That's all there is to it. There she be, folks. That's all there is. Got a little bit of cleanup to do, and that'll be all. Thanks for joining me. Set this one up here with the other two. There's our two chocolates. One's a little darker than the other. Of course, the lighter one was milk chocolate. The dark one was dark chocolate. When you pick these up, you do it just by the very edge of the tin cake pan. And there they are. This is Chuck. Why Not Wander? If you like our videos, please subscribe. Share with your friends. Make a comment if you have something to add. Check for us on Facebook. Why Not Wander with Chuck and Linda. Have a great day.